What is up, football fans? I am back doing my next video. It's the Panthers that are up. We are going alphabetical, and I missed a couple days. I wanted to do so many videos. I wanted to be, ahead of where I am, but you know what? That's not how it works all the time. So, the next team up is the Carolina Panthers, and they had a pretty crazy offseason. I was pretty impressed by some of the things they did, but still, pretty crazy offseason. They snagged Dan Morgan for their assistant GM job from Buffalo, which, as you know, I'm a Bills fan, clearly. But really, his home is Carolina. He played there. He was a scout there for a little while. Then we snagged him to be our, I think it was VP of Player Personnel or something like that. He was in the GM's office. So, good luck to him. I love Dan Morgan. And I hope he does well there. You never know. He may be in line for a GM job one day. He's a very smart guy, and he did a hella good job here in Buffalo with scouting. So good luck to him, and I'll leave that at that. But, the Panthers, they traded Teddy Bridgewater over to the Broncos after they traded for Sam Darnold, which was, for me, I think it was a steal of a deal. And they gave up a second-round pick next year and a fourth, and then this year they gave up a sixth. And, they had a pretty good draft, not going to lie. They lost Kawan Short, but Kawan Short was hurt a lot, so, he's still out there in free agency, ready for somebody to snag. They picked up A.J. Bouye from the Broncos. A.J. Bouye was suspended for a few weeks for, PEDs, I think it is. I think it's 8 weeks he's suspended. But, good corners are hard to find, and, if you got to wait for them, then you got to wait for them. It is what it is. Then the Darnold trade, obvious. They were able to pick up Daquan Jones from the Titans, and they lost Stephen Weatherly, a pass rusher, to the Vikings. They lost Efe Obada to the Bills, but they did get Denzel Perryman at linebacker from the Chargers, who's a pretty good linebacker. He's not top tier or anything like that, but he's definitely a pretty good linebacker. You put him next to Shaq Thompson, and they brought in Hassan Reddick as well. They kept guard John Miller. Whatever. He played for the Bills, and it's a good depth piece. He started for us, and it was trash. But, as a backup, I'm sure he's going to be fine. They lost Mike Davis to the rival Falcons. Mike Davis played really well when Christian McCaffrey was out, so, that's a tough one. Cameron Irving they picked up from Dallas. He's a left guard, so I'm guessing he's a backup there. He's probably going to be a backup in Carolina, but you never know. He could earn a job. They lost Tahir Whitehead. They lost Tyler Larson, who's now with Washington. They lost Michael Pilardi, punter. He's now a Dolphin. And the Dolphins punter came to the Bills, so fun little circle how that went. They lost Curtis Samuel to Washington. They lost Michael Schofield, who's a right guard, who's still out there, so I'm guessing he's going to be a backup somewhere if he gets picked up. They picked up inside defensive lineman Zach Kerr, so he's probably a 3 technique if they call him IDL instead of DT, but I could be wrong about that. Chris Reed, they brought in, they lost to the Colts. They let Farrah Cooper go. He's unrestricted free agent right now. They 1 second. Sorry about that. Wifey was beckoning. Needed some medicine. All right, so where were we at? Farrah Cooper, Mannerts. They lost to the Jaguars. Not weak. I'm not a Panthers fan, but hey, they retained their long snapper, Jeff Jansen. They lost Julian Stanford, linebacker. He's a solid special team player. He's gonna find himself a roster, I think. They were able to keep Tyler Moton, right tackle. He's actually a really good right tackle. They had to keep him. They franchise tagged him, looks like it. They brought in guard Pat Elflein from the Jets to join good old Sam. Darius Taylor was let go. David Moore from the Seattle Seahawks is now a Panther. Woodrow Hamilton, interior defensive line of the Panthers, is now with the Titans. They lost Natrell Jamerson. He's a free agent. Russell Douglas, he is a Raider now. Morgan Fox came from the Rams. They were able to keep Keith Kirkwood, who I'm not sure who that is, a wide receiver. He's signed for the minimum, looks like 78 or 780,000. So I'm guessing he's a depth piece. And they lost Efe Obada, of course, to us in Buffalo. Frankie Louvu came from the Jets. They kept Trenton Scott. They were able to get Dan Arnold, tight end, from the Cardinals. They lost Corn Elder, nice name, to the Lions. Colin Thompson they retained, tight end. They lost Alex Arma, fullback, to the Saints. Retained their kicker, Joey Sly. Kept wide receiver Brandon Zylstra, who looks like a minimum guy. Steven Sullivan from the Panthers, from the Seahawks, is now a Panther. And then Ishmael Hyman, wide receiver, also another minimum guy. So they were able to keep, some of their guys. They lost a few, but they also brought in some other guys. Now, I wouldn't say that the roster based on free agency was better or worse. Wide receiver, it was worse because, they lost Curtis Samuel to the Washington football team. But, you're going to lose guys here and there. That's the NFL. It's a business as well as a, talent venture. You have talented guys. You can't keep them all, right? That's just not how it works. But in the draft, they addressed wide receiver. They lost Curtis Samuel. They were able to keep some depth pieces at wide receiver, but then they went round 1. And no, that's not wide receiver, is it? Yeah, it is. Terrace Marshall Jr. So they took, no, that's round 2. Excuse me. Round 1, J.C. Horn. How did I forget that? I'm looking at their thing, and the first name on the thing was Terrace Marshall. What? J.C. Horn at pick 8. They went corner, and they really needed corner. Their corners were not really that great last year. I'd say, lower middle to the pack to upper bottom of the barrel. I'd say somewhere between 18 and 24. Then, round 2, Terrace Marshall Jr. So a lot of people had him going in the late late first, early second. And they got him in the 59 spot. So, middle of the round-ish. Kind of early. Top 10 of the second round. No, it's not. Because top 10 of the second round is 33 to 43. So no, he was a mid to late second round pick. Like he was definitely better than his draft spot. Wow. Okay. Then in round 3, they brought in Brady Christensen, who was at BYU. He's a tackle. So what you're doing is you bring in Sam Darnold and you do what the Jets didn't do, and you support him. Get him a wide receiver, get him a lineman, a tackle to sit on the other side from Moton. Then you go after tight end Tommy Tremble from Notre Dame, who's a really good blocking tight end, and they want to block for Christian McCaffrey. Also, he can catch, but he's more of a blocker. That's he's a hell of a blocker. So probably the best blocking tight end in this draft, Tommy Tremble. So now he's a Panther in the 4th round. Also in the 4th round, they picked up Chuba Hubbard from Oklahoma State, who is a speedster. Very good selection. If Christian McCaffrey goes down, you lost your other running back. Where did he go? He went to the Falcons, I'm pretty sure. I saw it earlier. And Mike Davis, there he is, who played well in the stead of Christian McCaffrey. And now you have Chuba Hubbard taking that spot, who's fast, very fast. Then in round 5, defensive tackle Davion Nixon out of Iowa. When you get into this area, you're hoping for starters, but they're more depth guys and they're more developmental. You can get real talent in the 5th round. The Bills picked up Matt Milano in the 5th round, so this guy could be good. We don't know. Then in the where is it? Pick 22, 166. So this is the 6th round. Looks like. Nope. I still think that's the 5th. They got Keith Taylor Jr., cornerback out of Washington. Now Washington's defense was pretty good. They had some good players coming out. My Bills were looking at them a lot. I don't think we picked up anybody from Washington though. There was a big rumor that the Bills were over there a lot, and the Bills have really grown to like Pac-12 guys, Pac-10 guys, Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever, Pac-12. We'll call it that. Round 6, they picked up Deontay Brown, guard from Alabama. So they're still packing the line, they're still packing the secondary, and they're still packing weapons. Then pick 20, 204. In the 6th round, they pick up another wide receiver, 5'10", 185 pounds. So he fits that Curtis Samuel type, body type. I don't know. I think Curtis Samuel might be a little taller than him, though. Let me take a look. I don't remember his I might be thinking about Moore, who's on their team right now. Who is a smaller guy. Curtis Samuel is 5'11", 196. So yeah, similar body type. 5'10", 185. It's a very similar body type to Curtis Samuel. Shi Smith out of South Carolina. Then they picked up long snapper Thomas Fletcher. They already have a long snapper, but competition at every position is a good thing. Round 7, we took Phil Hoskins, Kentucky. He's a defensive tackle. He's 6'5", 315. And, he's a 7th round pick. So he's either developmental, practice squad, or cut. A lot of times 7th round picks aren't guaranteed to make your team. And they did lose some defensive tackles, so he might make the team. And if he's good in camp, he could be a solid rotational guy. I'm not sure how the Panthers defense works now, but I know back in the day when they had Ron Rivera, they liked to rotate a lot, but he's not there no more, so it's really hard to read what they're going to do on that defensive line. But overall, I think that the offseason, with Matt Rule and I forget who their new GM is, I forget his name, I'm bad with names, but, this offseason, they've done some things that were pretty good, so I'm happy for them. And, I do pull for the Panthers because I live in North Carolina. I've lived here for 12 years, since 2008, so 11 years. 13 years, wow, went the wrong way on that one. 13 years, so 2008 in February was when I got here, and I was stationed here at Fort Bragg. And you know what? I do like the Panthers. I have nothing against them. We see them every 4 years, and when it comes to Bills versus Panthers, it's screw the Panthers. But any other week, I'll pull for the Panthers. I do like them a lot. Marty Herney, there you go. That's their GM's name. I do like how he's been handling his business. And, I like Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold is actually a good QB. He just played for Adam Gase in the New York Jets. And he had no support. The best thing they did for him was draft Mekhi Becton. And that was too late. It was already, the writing was on the wall for him. And piss poor coaching can really, really damage somebody. So hopefully for Sam Darnold, he can actually pick it back up in Panther Blue, But, Godspeed to him. Hopefully they do well. And, hey, you never know. He could be their quarterback of the future, or they might look to draft one next year if he sucks. So they did pick up his 5th-year option, so I'm assuming they're going to give him 2 years. But, I'm hoping for the kid because he's still really young. I think he's 24 years old, 23, 24. He's very young. Yeah, he's 23 now. So some of these guys coming out of the draft this year are 22, 23, even 24 years old. So young guy, very young. But yeah, that's my video on the Panthers. Hopefully, they can put things together for themselves, and we'll see what they do in the future.